up, YouTube friends? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Mariah. I feel like I have to intro the same way. Maybe I don't have to, but I feel like because my channel is still my little cute growing channel that I might have new viewers. I feel like maybe that's it. I am still very much new to this whole YouTube game, so we're just figuring out as we go. But if you are new here, my name is, again, Mariah. I am a bikini competitor, bodybuilder, now transitioning into more of like a lifestyle season because we are taking some time away from competing. I've been competing since 2022. Aside from that, I'm also an online fitness coach, personal trainer, reformer Pilates instructor. I'm just a girl. I'm just a human, and we're just navigating life. So speaking of navigating life, number one, we are live from the car. I just got back from coaching one of my in-person PT girlies. I'm gonna take a second to shout out this client because I am so beyond proud of her. This is only our second week working together, and her main goal while working with me is to build strength and confidence in the gym and get strong and feel healthy. And I think it's so cool because she is a beginner. Prior to working with me, she was really just going to some Pilates classes. So the fact that I get to witness with my eyes her becoming more strong and confident in the gym and just progressing session by session, which she has already been, in my opinion, I just think it's the coolest thing ever, and I am just so beyond proud of her and so lucky and grateful that I get to work in this field that I am truly so passionate about. Like, sometimes I really do have to pinch myself because I'm like, what is this life that I get to live? Like, how grateful and lucky am I that I get to work in a job that I am truly so passionate about, and it doesn't even feel like work to me. And I wish everybody can eventually find a career that they are truly passionate about. And now, look, don't get me wrong. It is hard. There are still struggles, which we are going to be talking about that very soon. At the end of the day, I seriously do not take everything that I have in my life right now for granted. I am so beyond blessed that I get to do everything that I'm currently doing. And now let's not get it twisted, because there were years, many, many, many years where I was working jobs that I absolutely absolutely hated. And it's funny to kind of like, I laugh about it now, but like when I really think about it, it was really sad and depressing. There were times where I was working this corporate job and I would go to the bathroom, sit in the stall and just cry because I just didn't know what else to do. I was just stuck in this position. And although at the time, like when I was crying in the stall, I always had like this dream that I am currently living in. And that's why sometimes I really have to slow down and just be like, girl, remember that time when you were crying in the bathroom stall at the corporate job that you hated because you wanted to be where you are right now, and now you're here? Slow down and be grateful for that. Now, obviously, that is just one little moment that I am sharing, but there were many, many, many struggles that, of course, I don't share everything online. Maybe one day we'll do like a whole yap session. Maybe one day I'll create a podcast because I feel like every time I make YouTube videos, I guess I could somehow, but like, look, we're trying to figure out this whole YouTube situation, so let's do one thing at a time. But speaking of that, let's kind of get into how I've been feeling the past couple of days. And now I don't know if this is because my hormones are just like regulating. So for those of you that don't know, I am in this next little season of my life. We're kind of transitioning into a little lifestyle phase because I am taking some time away from competing. So it is different from like past seasons because I always had like, okay, I'm going to be competing next spring, or I'm going to be competing next summer. So I always had competition in the back of my head, where obviously I still do, but it's just not as urgent, I guess you could say, as times in the past. So it is a little bit different, but first things first, I need to get all of my health situated. So with competing, it is very common for females to lose their menstrual cycles. And this has happened to me past seasons competing as well. But this is the longest that it has been without me having one. So that is my main priority. I'm putting out all of the positive energy because I have been getting symptoms that I typically get prior to my period, but they have been a lot worse. And it is common for the symptoms to be a little bit louder, I guess you could say, if you haven't gotten your cycle in a while. So we are, again, just sending all of the positive energy. And I think that that is what is ahead of us. I feel it. I know it's coming. I do feel like things right now are just regulating. So my senses, like I've just been like very irritable lately. I've been trying to do certain tasks that I set out for myself, and they just feel so much harder and more stressful than they need to be, especially this past week. Now what I want to get into is I guess I put a lot of pressure on myself when it comes to really anything: competing, my career, social media, content creation, building my YouTube, and I want to consistently put out vlogs. So this week, and I'm going to be so honest with you guys, this week, I'm like, okay, what do I want to film for my next YouTube vlog? Because that's something where maybe I'll ask you guys for some suggestions, some things that you want to see. Comment them down below. Let me know. But I kept telling myself, this is what I kept telling myself. I kept telling myself, okay, we're going to film a little day in the life. We're going to film a little day in the life. And every single morning that I've been waking up, I've been putting pressure on myself to pick up my camera and film myself what I'm doing. And I'm not like, we're real on here, okay? So when I'm picking up my camera and if I'm waking up in the morning, nothing is aesthetic, nothing is perfect, because that is real life. Nobody's perfect, you know what I mean? So I really try to make things as real and raw and genuine as possible. But every single morning, I kept telling myself, okay, Mariah, we're gonna film this, we're gonna film that. And then I'm like, I don't want to. I personally love to take my mornings very, very slow. I like to go at my own pace, and I just didn't feel like filming. But then because I didn't feel like filming, I'm like, but you told yourself you're gonna do a day in the life vlog. You need to film your day in the life. And I kept fighting with myself every single morning. Today is Thursday, so I tried to do this on Monday. I got frustrated, and I'm like, girl, you're frustrated. Stop filming. You don't have to. Tuesday, I tried the same thing. And because I was frustrated, it made me more frustrated. And then there just was so much frustration. And I'm like, we're not doing this. We're not forcing this. This YouTube channel to me is a little creative outlet, and it's fun. And as soon as something isn't becoming fun anymore, and that's the same thing that I told myself with competing and bodybuilding, as soon as it stops being fun and that enjoyment is taken out of the process, you're done. You're done. We're not doing it anymore. So that's exactly, sorry guys, I keep tapping my phone again, but that's the same mindset that I had to remind myself this week. If this is stressful, like, stop doing it. Why are we creating more stress? Like, enough. So that's why today I'm like, or the past few days, I'm like, well, what are we going to vlog about? I'm like, let's talk about it. Let's sit in the car and my little office. Let's sit in the car and let's talk about it, because I'm like, you know what? Maybe somebody else could potentially relate to this feeling, because I am somebody that there's nothing wrong with it. I set a lot of goals for myself, but sometimes I can set a little bit too high expectations, and that is important. I do have to be realistic with myself. If the morning is my time to just slowly wake up, I like to sip my coffee. I do a little bit of cardio. I like to just really chill and set a good tone for the rest of my day. And if that means not picking up my phone and vlogging, then so be it. I have to do whatever is going to protect my peace and my energy. And if I don't feel like doing something, if you don't feel like doing something, if you genuinely don't feel like doing something, then you don't have to do it. Like, don't put pressure on yourself just because because I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes I watch some of these other creators' vlogs and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. I love that she's doing that. But she's doing that. That's what she loves to do. That's, you know, like, hopefully that's what she loves to do. And if I don't feel the need to do that, then I'm not. Because if I'm just forcing things, then now it's just not genuine anymore, and I'm just pretending and I'm just putting out this persona of who you think that I am, and that's not actually who I am. We're just rambling again, so hopefully all of this is kind of making sense. But at the end of the day, like, this channel is something that I want to make just my own little personal digital diary, and we're just going to continue to create content that doesn't feel forced. That was a big yap session. But at the end of the day, like, this is my channel. Even when it comes to like Instagram and other social media platforms, like, they're mine, they're yours. Post whatever you want to post. Post as much as you want to post. The people that support you will continue to follow you. And hey, the people that don't support you, well, they'll unfollow you, they'll unsubscribe. That's why it's important for me to just be me. If you don't like me, well, I'm sorry. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, it's important that I'm just being myself on here, and I'm not putting up this front and trying to be somebody that I'm not, because this is me. Take it or leave it. And I hope that you can also eventually feel that way too if you don't, or if you're trying to be somebody that you're not, because that sucks. That sucks. Be who you are. Again, people are gonna like you, people are gonna hate you. That's just life. That's just life. Okay, so I feel like that was a whole lot of rambling, which again, we all know me. We all know I can yap your ear off. I always tell when I'm teaching reformer Pilates or group fitness and it's a rest period, there's pros and cons of me yapping a lot. Because during the rest period, I tell the girls that I'm teaching, I'm like, look guys, if you want a longer rest, ask me a question. Hey, Mariah, how was your weekend? And then I'll just start talking, and then next thing you know, you've had like a 3-minute break. But then the con is because when you're working, I'll start counting down. I am that instructor. I will be like 10, 9, and then I'll look over at someone, I'll go to fix their form, and then I'll start talking to them. And next thing you know, I'm standing with them fixing their form, and the girls over here have been pulsing for like 45,000 hours. But plans for the rest of today, so I have to do a few client check-ins right now. I gotta get in my house. And then I have to teach 2 heated mat classes tonight. So that is the plan. One last thing, and then I will get out of this car because I am now hungry, but I am so excited to share this, and you best believe we are going to make a whole vlog about it. But one of my previous vlogs, the Pilates studio that I work at, they hosted a Pilates event. And to be honest with you, at first I was like, I don't know how this makes sense, but apparently this is a thing. And they hosted it with Mercedes-Benz. So it was a collaboration with the Pilates studio and Mercedes-Benz. I'll put like a little clip here, but it was so cool. They had like vendors, and there were over like 40 girls who came and participated and did the classes. There was like 4 classes. Anyways, the studio is collaborating with Audi, and they're doing a whole event, and I get to be one of the instructors to teach, which I am so excited about, because this has been on my vision board, my 2025 vision board, but it's now on my 2026 vision board, and it's going to be on every single vision board, because this is something that I really want to do, is host an event myself, yes, but also just being able to collaborate with other companies and businesses and getting to teach And that is exactly what I get to do on Sunday, March 1st. I'm going to be teaching an hour mat class. And I am just so excited. And I'm going to bring you guys along with me. But I will maybe give you some more details in future vlogs, but I'm so excited. There are so many other things, more events that I'm going to be doing. There's another one. I'm going to be collaborating with my really good friend. She was actually an old client, but it's going to be another thing. If you didn't know, I have my blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I used to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but she asked me to come to one of their competition classes to speak about proper nutrition and training and all of that stuff. So that's coming up, but all of these little things are in the works and I am so excited about all of it. Okay, maybe let's change so excited. I am beyond thrilled that I am going to be collaborating and doing all of these things and being a part of these events. All right, we are going to end this vlog here. That was a whole lot of yapping. One day we will put together a podcast because I am the queen of yapping and I feel like that's something that I could thrive in. But I want to take a second before I go because we hit a little milestone. I now have 701 subscribers and I just think it's so cool. How cool is that? Because I remember when I first created this YouTube channel, I probably had like 10 and it was like my mom, my sisters, and my good friends. And I just think it's so cool that I now have 701 subscribers. Although it's probably very small compared to these big channels, it's just a little milestone for me. So if you are one of my subscribers, thank you for following along. Stay tuned for all of the future vlogs this next little season of my life because there's going to be some good ones. And I'm just so lucky that I get to share this on this platform. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, as always, feel more than welcome to comment down below. Feel more than welcome to follow me on Instagram at MariahCFit. You can send me a direct message. We can yap some more. But I hope you guys have a great day, a great night, whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you in the next one.